Hello everyone and welcome to the weird, scary and horrible parts of humanity. Today we are looking at the final chapter of the 9/11 hijackers, and in the next 4 videos we'll be looking at the 4 hijackers who hijacked United Airlines Flight 93. On a personal note, I want to dedicate this part of the series to the crew and passengers of United 93, who took perhaps the greatest sacrifice a human can, sacrificing their own lives to save the lives of hundreds and possibly thousands of innocent people who they didn't even know. And if more people were like them, the world would be a better place to live in. And of course, this video isn't intended to cause offence to the families of United 93, nor glorify the hijackers. Our aim is to simply understand what led them to take the lives of 3,000 people and change the face of the planet forever by understanding who they are, what their motivations were, and what their life story was. United Airlines Flight 93 was a Boeing 757-222 departing from Newark International Airport, New Jersey, bound for San Francisco International Airport, California. The aircraft is seen here 3 days before the attack on the 8th of September 2001. There were 33 passengers aboard, 4 hijackers and 7 crew members. The flight did not depart until 8:42 a.m. on the 11th of September and was running 42 minutes late. Crashing in Shanksville, Pennsylvania and killing all 44 aboard, it is speculated that the Boeing 757's target was the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., but this remains debatable to this day. We are starting with the only Lebanese hijacker, and also the hijacker who the BBC would describe as the most westernized of the 19 hijackers, Ziad Jarrah. Ziad Samir Jarrah was born on the 11th of May 1975 in the capital of Lebanon, Beirut. This was a time of turmoil for Lebanon, with the Lebanese civil war taking place between 1975 and 1990, seeing 120,000 fatalities and 1 million Lebanese leaving the country. However, the Los Angeles Times reported that the family shielded him from the war that was ravaging his homeland, and indeed ABC News Australia would report that he grew up shielded from Hezbollah and religious extremism, which engulfed much of Lebanon at the time. His wealthy parents and family were nominally Sunni Muslims, however they lived a secular life, living in the prominent quarter of Tariq al-Jidida in Beirut. He received his primary and secondary education from Christian schools in the area and became fluent in French and English. They would frequently drive from Beirut to Al-Maraj so that they could play with his cousin Salim. Jarrah always wanted to become an airline pilot, but his parents discouraged it, with his father Samir telling the Wall Street Journal on the 18th of September 2001, "I only have one son and I was afraid that he would crash." Salim told the Los Angeles Times that while in Lebanon, Jarrah lived a secular lifestyle, partied, went to discos, drank alcohol and flirted with women. From 1995 to 1996, someone under his name rented an apartment in Brooklyn, New York. The landlords confirmed to the Boston Globe, based on photographs released by the FBI, that this was Jarrah. However, whether or not he entered New York at the time is unknown and indeed greatly disputed, as there was no evidence that he entered the United States of America in the mid to late 1990s. And this was not discussed in the 9/11 Commission report. In the spring of 1996, Jarrah went to study in Germany with his cousin Salim, with the duo attending the University of Greifswald to take a certificate in the German language, which was required to study in Germany. The University of Greifswald is a public university located in Greifswald, Germany, and is ranked between 351 and 400 in the World University Rankings by Times Higher Education World University Rankings 2023. His lecturer, Gudund al-Shibh, would describe him as just a lovely and kind young man. While living in Germany, he became very westernized, frequently attending discos and beach parties, and his attendance at the mosque and in turn his religious beliefs gradually became less. While living in Greifswald, he met Aysel Sengun, a German-born woman of Turkish ancestry, in 1996. According to PBS and the BBC, she was studying medicine. The two became very close friends and then started a sexual relationship and began dating. She would be Jarrah's partner for the rest of his life. They would both move in together in 1999 but tried to keep it a secret from a conservative Turkish family, despite Sengun being raised as a secular Muslim. As the 90s wore on, however, Jarrah became increasingly strict towards her, with the BBC reporting that he wanted her to cover up, which she refused to. In September 1997, Jarrah travelled to Hamburg and studied aerospace engineering, with his love for aviation never really leaving him. He studied aviation engineering at the Fachhochschule Hamburg, which is now the Hamburg University of Applied Sciences, becoming the latter in 2001. He initially wanted to study dentistry, and according to the 9/11 Commission, the reason for his change to study aviation engineering is unknown. While there, he worked at a Volkswagen paint shop in Wolfsburg in Lower Saxony. His parents also sent him an allowance of $700 per month. He rented an apartment from Rosemary Cannell, with Cannell painting a portrait of Jarrah, which he sent to his mother in December. While there, he became acquainted with Mohammed Atta, the principal hijacker of 9/11, and a hijacker aboard American Airlines Flight 11. He would then join the Hamburg Cell along with United Airlines Flight 175 hijacker Marwan al-Shehhi and Atta. In late 1999, he decided, along with Atta al-Shehhi, Ziad Jarrah, a German citizen who was a member of the Hamburg Cell and provided money and material support to the 9/11 hijackers, as well as Razmi bin al-Shibh, a Yemeni citizen accused of being a key facilitator for the 9/11 attacks and currently held at Guantanamo Bay, to travel to Chechnya to fight against Mother Russia during the Second Chechen War. The major combat phase of the Second Chechen War lasted between the 7th of August 1999 and the 30th of April 2000 in the North Caucasus, with the insurgency phase lasting between the 1st of May 2000 and the 16th of April 2009, with an estimated 30,000 civilians killed and between 50 and 80,000 military personnel killed. However, at the last minute, Khalid al-Masri and Mohammedur Ayud Slay convinced them all to travel to Afghanistan. Al-Masri is actually an unknown individual to this day and a pseudonym given by the 9/11 Commission report, with Al-Masri approaching the hijackers on a train in Germany and suggesting that they contact an alleged al-Qaeda operative in Duisburg in the North Rhine-Westphalia. Mohammedur Ayud Slay is a Mauritanian citizen who the US government maintained, having sworn to support al-Qaeda as a Mujahideen in December 1990, recruited for al-Qaeda and provided them with other support. He was detained at Guantanamo Bay without charge from 2002 until the 17th of October 2016. In Afghanistan, the four would meet Osama bin Laden and train for terrorist attacks. Jarrah was given the nickname Abu Tariq in honor of Tariq ibn Ziyad, the commander who led the Muslim conquest of Spain. Returning to Germany, he was instructed to enroll in a flying school. He is known to have attended Ziad Jarrah's wedding in October 1999. He would then return to Afghanistan for training in early 2000, with a video of Jarrah with Atta surfacing on the 1st of October 2006, with the duo in Afghanistan, with Jarrah reading his will in the video, which took place on the 18th of January 2000. A further video was released in 2009 showing Atta and Jarrah together in Afghanistan, smiling and speaking to the camera, but there was no sound. Upon his return to Germany, he would shave his beard in an attempt to integrate into Western society. In February 2000, he reported that his passport was stolen and he received another Lebanese passport from the Embassy of Lebanon in Beirut. However, this was most likely to hide his travels in Afghanistan. Dropping out of the Hamburg University of Technology, he researched flying schools in Europe, but appeared to be disenfranchised with flight schools in Europe, and on the advice of a childhood friend who innocently believed that he was fulfilling his childhood dream of being a pilot, he was advised to move to the United States of America for flight schools. On the 25th of May 2000, Jarrah applied for and received a US B1 B2 tourist visa, which was valid for 5 years from the Embassy of the United States of America in Berlin, Germany. To this day, Lebanese citizens require a visa to visit the United States of America, and it is a pretty poor passport when it comes to visa-free travel, as it is ranked 99th in the world according to the Henley Passport Index. On the 27th of June 2000, he arrived into Newark International Airport, New Jersey. Unlike Atta and al-Shehhi, who visited flight schools across the United States of America, including in Norman, Oklahoma, Jarrah immediately flew from Newark to Venice, Florida, enrolled at Huffman Aviation based at Venice Municipal Airport in Venice, Florida in June 2000, with Jarrah remaining there until the 15th of January 2001. By now, his allowance from his parents had been upped to $2,000 a month to pay for his flight schools. Ironically, Jarrah was remembered fondly by his classmates and described as a kind and trustworthy individual. In contrast to the Islamic faith, he would drink beer occasionally with flight instructor Rudi Deckers and al-Shehhi at the Shamrock pub in Sarasota, Florida. They both told Deckers that they had jobs lined up and were going to become pilots. Deckers would note that he was a good student. Uniquely, Jarrah did not live with Atta and al-Shehhi and instead lived with a German student in Venice named Thorsten Bargermann, who noted that Jarrah did not act religiously and was not politically astute. He also bought a car. On 6 separate occasions he flew to visit his girlfriend Sengun and also called and emailed her every day, with hundreds of calls made while he was in the United States of America. In early August 2000, he received a license to fly small aircraft and then in December began flying larger aircraft. In October, he flew back to Germany to visit his girlfriend, and then on the 29th of October, he flew via Paris back to Florida. In December 2000, he flew to Beirut, Lebanon to visit his family, and then flew to Germany to visit Sengun and brought her back to the United States of America for 10 days, and she attended a flight school lesson with him. However, there was no evidence that Sengun knew what was going to take place and believed that her boyfriend aimed to become a commercial pilot. It is believed that during this time he also went to Afghanistan, and upon his return to the United States of America, he was questioned at Miami Airport but denied that he had been in Afghanistan. Having left Huffman Aviation in late January 2001, he flew to Beirut to visit his father, who was ill, and on the way back to the United States of America went to visit Sengun, returning to Miami in late February 2001. Jarrah was incredibly unique amongst 9/11 hijackers because he was the only hijacker to maintain family and friend connections. In mid-March, he stayed in Decatur, Georgia, and spoke to Atta by phone. At the end of the month, he once again went to visit Sengun for 2 weeks. On the 2nd of May, he and Atta went to the DMV in Lauderdale Lakes to get a Floridian driver's license. On the 6th of May 2001, he moved to Dania Beach, Florida, and became a member of the US One Fitness Center. There, the Los Angeles Times reported that he took classes in various combat techniques, including full-contact boxing, kickboxing, and the Brazilian martial art of Kopfkido, making 2 cash payments of $500 to the owner, Bert Rodriguez, to get 17 private one-on-one instructions. However, he only attended 14 lessons. Rodriguez noted that Jarrah was a soft-spoken, physically fit and diligent learner who lacked the spark of a born combatant. Rodriguez would also tell the Tampa Bay Times that Jarrah seemed like such a nice boy, was focused on his mission in life and was happy. In June, he rented an apartment in Lauderdale by the Sea, 33 miles north of Miami, which as of 2020 has a population of 6,198 people, and he moved in with Ahmed al-Haznawi, a fellow United 93 hijacker. In early June, he took a cross-country flight with a Boeing 757 from Baltimore to Los Angeles and then to Las Vegas. This was intended for him to get used to the Boeing 757, the aircraft of United 93. Equally, he got additional training and practice flights throughout the early summer, flying from Fort Lauderdale to Philadelphia, where he trained at Hortman Aviation and asked to fly the Hudson Corridor, flying this route with an instructor as he did not have the ability to fly it alone. On the 25th of June, at the advice of their landlord, Jarrah took Haznawi to Holy Cross Hospital in Fort Lauderdale, which remains open to this day, for a cut on his left calf, for which he was given antibiotics. Haznawi said that he had bumped into a suitcase. While the media reported that this was a sign of contagious anthrax, hoping to show a link between the 9/11 hijackers and the 2001 anthrax attacks, which took place between the 18th of September 2001 and the 12th of October 2001, resulting in 5 people being killed and 17 people being injured, there was no evidence that Haznawi's injuries were related to anthrax. In mid-July 2001, Jarrah flew to join other hijackers in Spain. It is believed that they met in Tarragona with Abu Dada, a member of al-Qaeda and a high-ranking member of al-Qaeda in Madrid who spent 12 years in prison, as well as al-Qaeda member Amir el-Aziz, who was killed in a drone strike on the 1st of December 2005. During this meeting, Atta and al-Shibh planned and orchestrated the final plans of the attack. Atta noted that he was upset with Jarrah, and he believed that he was not dedicated enough to the attack, and expressed concern to al-Shibh that Jarrah might even abandon the plan. The 9/11 Commission reported that by mid-July, Jarrah chuffed at Atta's authority, and he felt excluded from the decision-making, while Atta was angry at Jarrah for visiting his family and girlfriend, with al-Shibh acting as a mediator. This resulted in Zacharias Moyosai being trained as a quick replacement to Jarrah in the event that he pulled out of the attack. Moyosai was born in France and was arrested in Minnesota by the FBI, charged with immigration violation on the 16th of August 2001, having taken flight training courses in Egan, Minnesota. On the 11th of December 2001, he was indicted by a federal grand jury in the United States District Court of the Eastern District of Virginia on 6 felony charges: conspiracy to commit acts of terrorism transcending national boundaries, conspiracy to commit aircraft piracy, conspiracy to destroy aircraft, conspiracy to use weapons of mass destruction, conspiracy to murder United States employees, and conspiracy to destroy property. During his trial in 2002, one of the big witnesses was Sengun, who said that she had spoken 3 times on the phone to el-Motassadegh, but Sengun had no idea about the attacks, and there was no evidence that she spoke to any other hijackers. In 2006, he was sentenced to life imprisonment, which he is currently serving at Federal ADX Supermax in Florence, Colorado. On the 25th of July 2001, Jarrah flew one-way to Dusseldorf, Germany from Miami, Florida, on a one-way ticket to see Sengun, who he would see for one last time before his death. By this stage, he had made plans to marry her, have children with her, and become a commercial pilot and support his family. However, it was al-Shibh who picked him up at the airport and encouraged him to see the plan through. Acting as a mediator, al-Shibh calmed Jarrah down, and when he returned to the United States of America, he mended his relationship with Atta. The Los Angeles Times reported that he returned to the United States of America and earned a single-engine certification on the 30th of July, missing the wedding of his older sister Dania on the 2nd of August 2001. In his apartment, he set up a large mock cockpit made of cardboard boxes. On the 22nd of August, he attempted to purchase 4 GPS units from a pilot shop in Miami, Florida, but was only able to purchase 1, which he picked up a few days later, along with 3 aeronautical charts. Alone, Jarrah checked into the Pin Del Motel in Laurel, Maryland on the 27th of August 2001. The hotel would close in 2006 and is now the Days Inn and Suites, which remains there to this day. On the 4th of September 2001, his parents, who did not have any idea of what their son was planning, sent money to him. This time he was requesting $2,700. When asked why he wanted the extra $700 above his usual monthly allowance, he said it was to have a bit of fun. On the 5th of September 2001, he bought a ticket in cash from Passage Tours in Fort Lauderdale to Newark aboard Spirit Airlines. He and the other United 93 hijackers, Saeed al-Ghamdi, Ahmad al-Haznawi, and Ahmed al-Nami, flew Spirit Airlines from Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport, Florida, to Newark, New Jersey, with Fort Lauderdale still one of Spirit's biggest bases. They departed on the 7th of September 2001. He then checked into the Newark Airport Marriott, where he rented 2 rooms. The hotel remains open to this day. At midnight on the 9th of September, he was pulled over for speeding in Maryland, heading north on the I-95, and got a speeding ticket. Later that day, he telephoned his parents and told them that he had received the money order, which they had sent on the 4th of September, and said that he would attend his cousin's wedding in Beirut on the 22nd of September. On the same day, he moved to the Newark Days Inn. The Days Inn in Newark remains open to this day. On the 10th of September 2001, he wrote a suicide note addressed to Sengun. He then posted it to her apartment in Germany. But the letter never reached Sengun, as after 9/11 she entered witness protection, vacated the apartment, and the letter was returned by the German Postal Office to the United States of America, and in turn it was returned to the FBI. Knowledge of the letter would be released to the public on the 18th of November 2001, but it was not published in full until Der Spiegel would publish the letter on the 18th of January 2005. The letter stated in Arabic, "First of all, I want you to know and be sure that I love you with all my heart. You must not doubt my love for you. I love you, and I will love you forever. Habibi, Hayatim, Askim, Ganim, Albi, Inte Habibi. I do not want you to be sad. I am still alive somewhere where you cannot see and hear me, but I will see you and know how you are doing. I will wait for you to come to me. There comes a time for everyone to make a move. It is my fault that I gave you so many hopes about marriage, wedding, children, family, and many other things. I am what you wish for, but unfortunately, you must wait a little bit until we will be together again. I did not flee from you, but did what I was supposed to do. You ought to be very proud, because it's an honour, and you will see the result, sir, and everybody will be happier. I want you to stay as strong as I know you can be. Do what you were meant to do. Keep your head up, but with a goal, never without a goal. You must always have a goal. Always think, what for? Why? Always remember who and what you are. Stay strong. Winners always carry their heads up high. Hold on to what you have until we meet again, and then we will have a wonderful eternal life without any problems and sadness, in palaces of gold and silver and so much more. I did not leave you on your own. Allah is with you and your parents. Whenever you need anything, ask Him. He listens and knows what is inside you. Our Prophet, SAS, said, "He who has no worries is a poor man, and she who has no man is a poor woman. I will still come and get you, and if you get married, go ahead, have no fear. But as you know, I do not like all men. Think about what you are and who deserves you. I am taking you into my arms and kiss your hands and your head. I thank you and apologize for the wonderful, difficult 5 years that you have spent with me. Your patience will be rewarded. Viganat inshallah. I am your prince, and I will come for you. Goodbye. Your man for life, Ziad Jarrah. September 10, 2001. At 5:01 a.m. on the 11th of September 2001, Jarrah placed a phone call to United Airlines Flight 175 hijacker Marwan al-Shehhi in Boston, speaking for less than a minute and likely to confirm that the plans for 9/11 were ready to go. He also called Attar, telling him that the plan was ready to go. At around 5:30 a.m. he called Sengun, and she described the conversation as normal and pleasant, telling German officials on the 13th of September that the conversation was, quote, held in a normal atmosphere and at no time appeared conspicuous. He ended the call saying that he loved her, telling her that 3 times, and that he had to go. However, she would later state that she asked what was wrong and why he had to go so quickly, but he just hung up. At 7:39 a.m. he checked in for United Airlines at Newark Airport. United Flight 93 departed from gate A17. He boarded at 7:48 a.m. Jarrah was seated in seat 1B in first class with no one next to him. All 4 of the hijackers were seated in first class with al-Nami and al-Gamdir in seats 3C and 3D respectively, and al-Haznawi in seat 6B. However, because the flight was delayed by 42 minutes, the plane took off only 4 minutes before American Airlines Flight 11 crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center at 8:46 a.m. With pilots and crew aboard, United Airlines Flight 93 notified of the hijackings of American Airlines Flight 11 and United Airlines Flight 175. And phone calls from passengers after they were hijacked meant that passengers and crew were aware of what was unfolding. At around 9:28 a.m, United 93 was hijacked with Jarrah in the pilot's seat, fulfilling his childhood dream in a way that nobody could ever have imagined. At 9:31 a.m. and 57 seconds, he announced to passengers, "Ladies and gentlemen, hear the captain. Please sit down. Keep remaining seating. We have a bomb on board, so set. At 9:39 a.m. and 11 seconds he repeated, "This is the captain. Would like you all to remain seated. There is a bomb on board, and we are going back to the airport and to have our demands, so please remain quiet." With passengers and crew attacking hijackers aboard United Airlines Flight 93 to knock them off balance, Jarrah rolled the plane to the left and then to the right before pitching the nose of the Boeing 757 forward and back before stabilizing the plane at 10 a.m. and 3 seconds. 5 seconds later, he asked, "Is that it? Shall we finish it off?" To which another hijacker, who is unknown to this day, responded, "No, not yet. When they all come, we finish it off." At 10:01 a.m, with passengers using a trolley to batter down the cockpit door, he ceased the violent manoeuvres and started to recite Allahu Akbar numerous times. At 10:02 a.m. and 18 seconds, an unknown hijacker said, pull it down, and at 10:02 a.m. and 33 seconds, Jarrah was heard shouting in Arabic, "Hey, hey, give it to me, 8 times. It is believed that this referred to the 757's yoke, but who it was addressed to is unknown, as while we know that the passengers and crew were close to getting into the cockpit, to this day we still don't know if they actually made it in there. United Flight 93 would crash at 10:03 a.m. and 11 seconds, potentially saving hundreds and even thousands of lives. After 9/11, Sengun raised a missing person report in Bochum for Jarrah. His friends and family were both perplexed and bemused that their son was a hijacker, with his cousin Salim unable to fathom how he got mixed up in terrorism and mass murder. Friends and family would tell the Los Angeles Times that unlike Attar, he did not exhibit smouldering political resentments or cultural conservatism. Family friend Mahmoud Ali would state, "There is nothing in his character that would allow him to do this, not from his past, not from his family, not from his country." Salim also stated, "If he died in that crash, he died as a victim like the other passengers." His uncle Jamal Jarrah claimed to the Boston Globe that the accusations against his nephew made absolutely no sense, and that he was going to go to his cousin's wedding on the 22nd of September. 1 week after the attacks, his family was interviewed by the 7:30 report of ABC Australia. The family said that they hoped that he was still alive and wasn't on board, but by that stage they were losing faith. However, his uncle vehemently dismissed the concept that he was a hijacker, stating that he was not typical of a religious person or extremist, but his father speculated that he could have used the extra $700 in his allowance to buy a ticket aboard United Airlines Flight 93 as a passenger to go on holiday to Los Angeles, California. But his uncle also insisted that he could not fly a plane and had never been to Afghanistan, but also couldn't explain why he was flying from Newark to Los Angeles. However, the release of a video in 2006 of Jarrah and Attar together in Afghanistan quashed many of the beliefs of Jarrah's family. However, for his extended family, despite the release of this video, the denial would continue, with Jamal Jarrah telling Future TV that his nephew was not involved in 9/11 in an interview on the 2nd of January 2012. It is widely accepted that Jarrah was indeed living a double life in being a Muslim extremist and was keeping the secret of himself being involved in 9/11 from his friends, his family, and his girlfriend. Thank you for watching. Please do yourself a favour and hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to inform yourself of when new videos come out. Also, why not hit that like button and leave a nice comment? It helps more than you know, and your support is truly appreciated. Until next time, stay awesome, stay classy, be kind to everyone you meet, have an amazing day, and remember that truth is always more interesting than fiction.